9. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to PTM Racing TV, and tonight, it's a special one here tonight as we return to Thursday night action. The Spartan Logistic Management LLC iRacing IROC Challenge Series is back, and they are here with a whole new lineup, a whole list of crew drivers you know and love that you've seen before, but you never have seen any of them like this here on PTM Racing TV. Hi everyone, I'm Christian Caceres Driver, and welcome back. As always, we get ready for tonight's action, presented in part by our good friends over at Spartan Logistics Management LLC, R&R Racewear, and their new line of products as well. Check out the link in the description down below. By Loud Pedal TV, by SimSpeedShop.com, and by Track Time Entertainment. A big thank you to all those that have come before to help out the sponsors in the work here tonight. And now drivers get settled in and prepared. And it's time to look at our lineup here for the Spartan Logistic Management LLC iRacing IROC Series grid. Tonight on the pole, you will see Brian McCann, the number 3 is outside. That is the number 2, that is Neil Quick. Row number 2, it's going to be Jesse King, and the 25 is outside. That is the 66, Cody Harger. Row number 3, Bobby Hamilton Jr., and the 16 is outside. That's Troy Radford, and the 94. Row number 4, it's Vincent Short, and the 15 is outside. Cook Quick, and the 54. Row number 5, that's Brian Rose, and the 89 that's outside. That's go Brandon Mefford in the 83. Row number 6 can be Chris Wally, and the 5 is outside. That is Kevin McCann in the number 33. Row number 7, that'll be David L. Brown. The 7 is outside. That's going to be Carson Conway, the 82. Row number 8, Kyle Pengraff. The 14 is outside. That's Hunter Clark in the 16. Row 9 sees Ray Radford, and that 47 is outside. That's Joshua Funkhauser in the 81. Row number 10 is Doug Wysocki in the 34 to his outside. That's Brian Reich in the 112. Row number 11, Aaron Smith, the 2nd, and the number 1 is outside. That's Mike Harper in the 4. Row 12, Jared Widener in the 88 is outside. Dakota Clark in the 38, rounding out your field here tonight. Race fans, it's that time of the year again. It's that time for the show. We've got a whole new lineup, a whole new roster in the series that are going from the trucks straight into the Next Gen Cup Series with some new faces in there and maybe one in there you've heard of before that we will get more in depth to a little later on. You probably heard his name and think, wait, what? Did he say what I think he said? We're not lying. We did say who we said. We'll get into it in just a moment, though. Our drivers get prepared to go at it. Former defending champion Brian McCann will be on the starting lineup here, of course. Chris Wally looking to try to bring back some momentum as well here in his former championship run in the 5. And then the defending champion, the number 1, that is Aaron Smith. He will be looking to make a statement here on the starting grid and on the starting row. We'll see if he can do that and then some here. Off the corners down on the front straightaway here to the green flag. We charge them. It's Next Gen Series here and now. 50 laps tonight. We're going for a $50 shootout race here. So as I lead them off down turn 1, turn 2, out of the gate. Drivers are going to be looking to build up a lot of speed off the early going, build up a lot of momentum, trying to see if they can get something to work into the 3 wide slip mixing down the stretch. Well, I guess guys are already thinking, hey, wait a minute, we got to get going quickly before this gets a little too hard to pass. These Next Gen Cup cars are just like the normal Cup cars. They don't like passing too much in the draft. You really got to get a good drip and a good rhythm out the start. Timing is everything here, and they know that all too well. Everybody posing a threat out of the gate. Some drivers looking to go to the bottom, make a runoff. Some trying to stay up top and build as much speed with the draft line. But you can see the bottom lane seems to have it more dialed in than anything. One unique thing is we'll also be able to see the drivers in the onboard camera here and give you guys just a good look at how folks there are. Hunter Clark, look out down there. Big trouble there on the back straightaway. Oh my. And just like that, things can turn in a heartbeat and on a dime there. A big wreck on the back straightaway. Looks like Hunter Clark smacked in the bab in the middle of that one. The 83 of Brandon Meffert getting himself into a bit of a pickle. We will have to insert it to the PTM Instant Replay and trust in its viewing. We'll see what happened here. We're going to go to the chopper cam to start this one off. Watch as I come off a turn 2 here. You're going to see everyone get a little too rambunctious, a little too all over the place here. Again, these Next Gen Cup cars can be a bit of a challenge, although that seems as though the glitch graphic gremlins may have attacked a little bit harder than we realized. I do not think there was any contact made other than maybe something else there, but we'll take a little closer look here. Yeah, right here, everything looks okay. Everything looks clear. Hunter Clark. Oh, yeah, that kind of tells you a lot right there, unfortunately. It looked like everything was okay and safe and sound, but the glitch graphic gremlins did not see it that way. That's a tough break there for Brandon, one of the old rival, one of the better drivers out here, of course, in the Spartan Logistic Management LLC or iRacing series. Always out here putting on a challenge and putting on a show, and definitely seems to know how to get it done when the time comes. Now, you guys know me. I've done my research, and I always study people when I can. But here's a little something I was not expecting when we came in here tonight, race fans. The debut of former NASCAR Cup Series, Xfinity Series truck driver, Bobby Hamilton Jr. He is on PTM Racing TV for the very first time ever, so you can now punch that into the bingo card. We got another NASCAR guy on the list, and, you know, Bobby Hamilton Jr., one of the tougher drivers on the track back in the early 2000s. He's got quite multiple series of wins, his most coming in Xfinity, back with 4 wins back in 2003. No wins in the Cup Series, but quite a few good runs and good placements. Led quite a few laps there, and a lot of laps led in the Truck Series and Xfinity, of course. got about six most top tens in 2006 for trucks and a couple wins there. 2004, great season for him, obviously. 6 years of experience in trucks, 10 years in Xfinity, and 6 years in the Cup for this driver we see here tonight. And it is an honor and pleasure to have him on the show. So, Bobby, thank you for coming on, sir. And we certainly hope to see you perform as well as you have in recent times with these guys, as we know these drivers all too well. They are extremely tough to beat and tough to handle when they get it dialed in on here. There's a lot of heavy hitters on this track, and there's a lot of heavy hitters that play out on this kind of racing series, and we know that all too well. So as our field gets stretched back in, now remember tonight as well, folks, this is a $50 race winner's purse here tonight. So they're going to be going 50 laps the distance here at Daytona. This is the shootout, of course, kind of the, if we put it down here in Iowa terms, we call it the prelude, if you will, to the season. They've got a whole list of racing coming up this season, though. This one being a big part of it. The next time out, though, of course, we will be back here at Daytona, so that will be the normal season start. The next week after that, then it'll be Auto Club Speedway on the 18th. Well, we'll take November off for the 25th for Thanksgiving, of course. Return on December 2nd, and we go to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And then after the 2nd, we'll go to the 9th, which is at Kansas. And from there on, we'll see what these drivers can bring to the table and what happens on the track. But for now, we are getting prepared to go to racing once more. The field will have to figure out how to take down Brian McCann as he looks to keep the Spartan Logistic Management LLC machine up and ahead. And you may be wondering at home, like, okay, I'm seeing a lot of colors out there, but are they all the same design? Well, yes, indeed. See, what happens is the iROC series, they're kind of mimicking the whole style that the original iROC series was kind of created and based upon, which is the International Race of Champions. I believe that's how it is referred to as the name. So they're designed the same. They're obviously, the cars are pretty much about the same as they get. There's really no way else to explain it. These next gens are designed to be the equalizer, if you will, to those big names, those big brands and everything. They're supposed to help garner more attention, to help give each car a different look, a different feel, but also kind of the same background and experience, no matter what the cost and the outtake is. And you're just getting a good look at what these cars are going to be having to deal with here on the Daytona side of things. It's going to be interesting to see how well they handle their nerves and how well they handle the track out here. A lot of hard racing to be had, a lot of big moments coming up as they lean them off down, of course, out of turn number 4, though, this time by. We're going to bring them back to the green flag here, charging their way across to the finish line stretch. We go to the green. And out of the gate again, guys already trying to go to the bottom lane, or they're trying to stay out of trouble. Bobby Hamilton Jr. going straight in for the kill switch already down the bottom, looking to try to get to Brian McCann. Jesse King starting to stay up a little higher end on the track here, looking to maybe make some moves up there and get someone to help out with him. If you're going to make a pass on the outside, though, you need help, and you're going to need a lot of it. Drivers got to stay behind him and really work with each other to the very end of this one. The Holla Boys are hollering. They're with us here tonight. They're saying, let's go racing. Debbie Rose hollering for him as well, rooting on for that number 89. As Bobby Hamilton Jr. now takes on Brian McCann here on the outside, trying to get a runoff on him. Fast speeds and equalizing momentum coming off the corners and the stretches. Down that back stretch they go, though. The speed continues to be on the bottom lane. Brian McCann still with the advantage as we go on board with him. If you look very closely as well, you can just see the determination he has right now on the track. Extremely focused, is not thinking about anything else other than to make sure he stays ahead of this field. Brian Rose now, the 89, though, he marches the charge. He marches ahead. He takes the outside run and gets ahead of all of them. Even Bobby Hamilton Jr. cannot hold him back here as the 25 of Jesse King kind of sneaks his way in between there. So already, I'm going to be honest, I thought these next-gen cars were going to be a lot tougher to pass on the outside. I may have been taken for a little bit of a ride here. I think I might need to recertify that. I might need to look a little closer at this, because last time I ran with these things, they were extremely difficult to get a good push and a good run off of, but now they're getting some moves off here. They're getting some good runs, so maybe there's something different I'm not seeing there. Look at this now, going straight for the inside, trying to make a run off there. Everybody now kind of keeping their distance, trying to corner off a little bit. You don't want to pass below the yellow line around here, though. That's a no-go here. You got to be very, very careful. Speaking of careful, always one guy you got to keep your eye on there. That is that 14 Kyle Pengraff. Pengraff, man, there's one thing I know about him all too well is that he's made just a showmanship, a little bit of a showing of himself every time he comes out on the track. Looking to maybe make another statement here tonight and really start the prelude to the big events coming up in the season. This shootout race for 50 bucks, though. I mean, that's 50 bucks. Don't get me wrong. That's not junk change. That's gonna get you about 2 tracks and maybe a car on this sim. Right about now, I still don't have them. Also, Debbie Rose saying, "Way to go, Brian Rose. Stay up front, son." He certainly is doing that. And Z does. Joshua Funkhauser having a little bit of a problem trying to get back onto the straightaways here on the turns. Couldn't quite keep it on the track at the line itself. Got kind of sent down to the shallow rim of the bottom lane and now has to work his way back in. 1/5 of the way completed. And Brian Rose, your race leader right now, holding the charge from Jesse King and Bobby Hamilton Jr. as Brian McCann and Kyle Pengraff keep up the top 5. Chris Wally going up top here. Backs off a little bit. I thought maybe he was going to try to make a run off there in the number 5, but instead he gets up to the high side. That's a lot of guys go ahead here as we go on board with him. Wally trying to gain up on some of these guys, trying to catch up to a few of them here. Brian Reich here in the 112. He's now moving up the chains. He's not a hard charger tonight, but he is a hard charger indeed with 11 spots up. The man behind him, though, Jared Whitener, is the ultimate hard charger so far. 13 spots up, started back in 23rd. Moving his way up into the 10th place realm. He's trying to get Reich in his sights, though, and ahead. Single file drafting now being a big of a occurrence here. Obviously, drivers do not want to get too crazy and too over the top here. They want to see if they can hold their line in at certain places. But the one thing these drivers are going to really be struggling with here tonight, besides obviously building speed off of the draft, is they're going to really be struggling to keep up with the steering. Now, the steering, it may not seem like a big deal here to some, but as we go back on board here with Pengraff, I'm just going to show you this real quick. Look at the steering here right now as you see on screen. It is very finicky, and honestly, it's still kind of representation of what the next-gen Cup cars are right now. Even NASCAR has admitted and been told by drivers out in the real world that they are still working to figure out how to get that set and figured up a little bit better, because it's a very delicate steering. It's kind of almost very almost kind of very kind of hard on sharp. Is the best way I can explain it. You really have to find a way, kind of a half a meaning when you're on the track with normal steering from a Cup car and Xfinity or trucks, where you have like more of a smooth edged out end, whereas this steering, it is very road course like, where you're trying to turn in a lot harder, trying to corner off better. But for tracks like this, you really need that smooth substance, that smoothness of the run in the corners and the turn to help kind of bolster your speed and bolster your run off. So the steering may be a bit of a factor when it comes to how these drivers are going to be catching drafts and they're going to be staying on the line. But again, it is early, so we do not know for sure if that will be the case or what happens there. Eddie Rose is watching her HBR boys here tonight. Good to have you on board, sir. Leading him off the charge here, down on the front straightaway here. Brian Rose still is your race leader. Let's go on board with him here and see how he's doing. Well, you can just look at his eyes right there, man. You can see, again, that determination. You can see the shadows of the track, just kind of almost exemplifying even more just that strength in his mind and the determination. Those eyes really tell the tale. So focused, not thinking about anything other than just staying ahead of this field and taking everybody down a few notches. Impressive so far, but again, will that last out the entire time? That remains to be seen. On board here with former champion Brian McCann, brother Kevin McCann, obviously family member of his, had a great showing last season. as well as Brian. Brian with a couple wins there. Kevin as well got a couple wins. A lot of podium finishes for both boys, but they fell victim. It's just short to the speed and the control that was Aaron Smith throughout the entire season. But tonight anyway, Aaron Smith right now not exactly in the top honcho spot. He's kind of in the back here. Now again, it is early, so we don't know if maybe he can get a caution here to kind of help him out and get his lap back, but that remains to be seen. As you see now, Jesse King even now going up to the high side. He's trying to get a little bit of help as the 7 says, not today here, my friend. I kind of want to take this one over from you. David E. Brown, though, unfortunately realizing that he has got no help and no draft, and King kind of following in suit. Every driver trying to find lines where they can, trying to make moves when they can, and Brian McCann going straight for the bottom end there, but it was Bobby Hamilton Jr. managing to get ahead there of Brian Rose to the end, so the caution flag is out. And I believe that is a stage break for these drivers. So the 16 of Hamilton will have the advantage there on the next restart, and that will give him a lot of help. But again, depending on how he goes into pit road and sets that fuel line and tires up, will determine his race. Can he keep it going to the end, though? Will he be able to finish this one out? There is only one way to find out. Stay tuned with us here on PTM Racing TV. We'll be right back after this quick commercial message. Tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen, is presented in part by our good friends over at Spartan Logistic Management, LLC. By R&R Racewear. Check the link in the description down below to check out their newest line of products from R&R. By Loud Pedal TV, smashing the loud pedal for your viewing entertainment. By SimSpeedShop.com. And by Track Time Entertainment. Spartan. The iRacing IROC Series Challenge wants to thank every single one of you guys and thank you for your support. And of course, for us here at PTM Racing TV, we cannot thank you guys enough for coming on board. Nikki Short now joining us in. Nikki, great to have you on board, sweetie. So far anyway, right now, the way I'm seeing this kind of play out, it's interesting already out of the gate because I was not expecting these next-gen Cup cars to get as much speed on the outside or make as much passes as they have in this case. I was expecting them to be a little bit slower, a little more kind of hard on the tires, if you will, to really make any run or make any speed. But so far, if you have some help and you have somebody kind of with you to get a little bit of a boost, you can make passes here. So that's a good sign. Now, how long that will work out for them and how well that will keep going for them remains to be seen again, because again, we're going off of kind of just our baseline, our strategy here, but so far it has been either way for the playing field. And I think I may need to correct my statement here. I think Brian McCann actually won the stage there, judging by them going into pit road. So it looked kind of hard to call from that angle. But we're actually, you know what, we're going to go to the PTM replay. While they're going into pit road, let's take a look at this again, because honestly, this may deserve a little bit of a closer look here. We're going to see as they come off that end here what his strategy was as he was getting down to the end. Now this was the end of the stage here before the caution came out. Watch Hamilton. He goes up to the high side. Got a little help there from the 3. Gets a good run here, but ooh, that is definitely a photo finish as I've ever seen it. Take one more look at it here. We're going to take a closer deep dive in this one. We're going to watch very carefully the 3 wide salute leading into this here. You're going to take a very good long shot at this one. Watch right there. Very close to say the least, but for the most part anyway, it looks as though Brian McCann did get the advantage there in that circumstance. So a great showing there from his end and a great spot to see here. And apologies real quick for the screen there. We did not mean for that to pop up. You gotta remember, with live timing around here and live showing, we will make mistakes every now and then. It's part of the job. So as we get everyone fielded back into position, get ready to go once again. Coming out of pit road anyway, Brian McCann once again gets the top spot. Brian Rose and Bobby Hamilton Jr. 3rd, 4th, Cody Harger, and 5th will be Vincent Short in the 15. Now Vincent He's been kind of an underdog, in my opinion, for some of these races. Now, again, I say that with all due respect to him because he's been in the same boat as some of these other guys that have been fast on the track have been, which is they have good speed and good momentum, but it seems as though when they're on the track, sometimes they either find themselves in the rough shot or they find themselves in a bad place late in the run. Now, of course, Daytona, Talladega, that's a great equalizer because, again, you're always constantly on the loud pedal. You're always constantly hammering it down. So your last-minute thoughts has really just been more or less focusing on trying to stay in with each driver and stay as close as possible with everyone else. It's going to be interesting to see now what we come from this last break here we just had for that caution. A solid finish to the end here, but now I believe we'll have one more stage break before the end of this race, as we are used to doing here on PTM Racing TV with the Spartan Logistic Management LLC guys. A good start to say the least, but how well will we keep going with this? Got a lot of love down though for the HBR boys, the Holler boys racing, and they're always got a hollering fan base down there. I got to give them that all the time. Guys like Vincent Short, of course, even Brian Rose now kind of a part of the group and the gang. A lot of great drivers here trying to make it up, trying to do what they can here. Lining them back down around the corners here on the front straightaway. Back to the green flag we go, and McCann will lead the charts once again. Brian Rose, though, up top. He's got some help from the 6'6", Cody Harger. Harger trying to muscle the car up ahead, trying to put the Chevrolets to good use. And all cars tonight, yes, are those Chevrolet Camaros, so be well aware of that. Now those that do not want to try to make a run on the outside will try to sneak their way across on the bottom lane, trying to sneak across the border. But unfortunately, if you don't have an opening, there's not a whole lot of places you can go. Eddie Rose saying, "Are there no penalty for passing under the yellow line?" I believe it's only on the finish you can do that. I think there is a penalty on the back straightaway. We saw Bobby earlier on having to check up and actually get back on the other side of the line there. So I believe there is something on the back straightaway. I cannot tell you for sure there. I honestly did. Oh no! Watch out! Watch out! Back turn two. Huge wreck there. We got one upside down flipping around. I believe that is Jesse King in the 25. Constantly flipping and wrecking hard there. The car completely end over end turned around, and a huge wreck to say the least there for the 25 machine. He's trying to get it back down off that spot there. I don't know, maybe can get a little help there from Hunter Clark. No, he's not going to get any help. He'll have to tend it down to pit road. Let's take a look at the PTM instant replay though, see what happened here. This is a hard licking a wreck here, unfortunately, involving everybody. Let's see, King, he goes down, he gets the 18 though of Hunter Clark, and all of a sudden then it was just a matter of trying to hold on for dear life here. You can see him wrecking constantly over, flip over. Let's take a look at we'll take a look at his onboard camera here as well. He had a hard lick though, man. He was riding hard there. That is for certain. I apologize to those that get kind of sick or kind of queasy if they see this. You just see, man. Oh, gosh. It's a hard lick. Again, he was trying to get to the bottom, but Clark was already kind of guarding him off, and he just had nowhere to go. He's just hoping and praying he can get out of it, but you can see the smoke popping up. Car is destroyed and totaled. He's done. He's going to be in pit road for a while, getting that fixed up. Now, they do have one fast repair, though, here tonight, so at least they have something to work with. But unfortunately, though, it's going to be a while before he can even get to use it because that towing down there does take some time to get him out of there. What a tough break for that 25 driver. Obviously, I know definitely not too thrilled about that at all, and cannot be too happy either. A little slowdown on my end here. Don't worry, folks. We'll just get the technical difficulty screen out of the way. Okay, I guess I still can't get it out. I guess we're stuck with it. All right. So right now, at the moment, top 5 now switching up a bit. David E. Brown moving into 5th, and Cody Harger, we saw a minute ago, really pushing his way up and 4th. But 3rd right now is now Vincent Short in the 15. So he's already making a few changes up here, kind of making some runs off. Brian Rose falling back into the pack here. Couldn't quite catch the draft line, get some momentum there. Unfortunately, that will have to help him out here. Some other guys in here we've talked about before that have kind of made their mark and bringing back to the track. Doug Wysocki, one of them, and then number 34. He's up 6 spots at the moment. Started at 19th, currently in the 13th slot. Wysocki had a few good runs there here at Daytona as well as Talladega. We've seen him really use and master the draft for the Truck Series, but obviously these next gens are, well, definitely a bit of a change up, if you will. It's a whole new ball game and a whole new lineup, so they got to figure them out quickly. They got to figure them out pretty fast here. For those that are just tuning in for the first time tonight, first off, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you guys haven't already, please like and follow us up here on our Facebook end so you never miss a race, never miss a beat. And also, while you're at it, head on down to our YouTube. Subscribe there at PTM Racing TV, and you will be sure to see all the action, all the racing going on. This race will be shown in its entirety on YouTube following tonight's coverage and action. So Facebook Live gets the live treatment, but of course YouTube will get the full treatment later on, of course, with the replay and everything there. So you'll never miss any of your favorite races here on the shows. Some of the greats that have won on a track, and some of the greats that have won here at Daytona. Very many big names here, very great names, of course. But now, as we prepare to mark another chapter in our history books, it's another laundry list of drivers here that literally reads off like a whole list of fast-paced, all-out madness kind of drive and racing. These guys very, very mature in their class and very strong on their momentum, but they definitely can put on a great show time and time again. So you never want to miss those Thursday night races. That is for certain. Yeah, with the admin of some of our NASCAR guys now, that just makes it even more fun. We'll lead them down out of turn number 4 this time by Brian McCann. Will have the inside row. While Bobby Hamilton Jr. once again will be on the outside lane. We'll see if that becomes to be a bit of a benefactor for someone here. As you wait for the green flag to pop out, lights pop on, the flag waves, they are back in action. And this time, literally everybody going straight to the bottom lane. They did not want to overshoot or undershoot any of this. They wanted to get there as quick as possible. I can't say that I blame them. That's really the only line you're going to get right now, and you're going to be able to use until you can get a full link drain down there on the outside. Strategy definitely picks up here late in the run. Really picks up throughout the event. This time by, we will be at the halfway point. 25 laps remain here at Daytona. Vincent Short right now, the 15, trying to make a move off on the 16 of Hamilton. Hamilton trying to see if maybe there's a run coming up for the outside. Last time you saw him on that last lap shot there for the stage break. Made a move on the outside quickly, but just did not hold off enough to how McCann got him there. Although the distances between each other, literally, you could have probably put a ruler in there, and it probably would have been still too long for how close it was. It was a matter of inches, less than a fender, really. And as they lead him off of turn number 4 this time by, you can see the 5 of Chris Wally trying to keep his car on Ryan, trying to keep himself out of trouble. Onboard camera here now for Ryan Reich here in the 112. He's up 12 spots here, started back in 20th, going into the 18th as Brian Rose in the 89 gets an opening there, sneaks his way down onto the inside. Nicky Rose coming on board saying, let's go short. Vincent still got a little love down there from the family members. Hunter Parker, you can just see the damage though on that 18. He does not have an answer to repair his left. He's just trying to finish this race out. Chances of winning the $50 are slim to none in his mind, but he is still going to try to come out here and put on a show for the fans, and got to give respect to him for that. Cook Quick in the 54 even now moving in, and kind of a, I know they're all running the same design out there, but that's kind of a little bit of a different look here, if you will. It's got kind of a more chrome design on that 54 machine. I kind of like it. Maybe a little bit of a chrome design on the car, but the man behind the wheel, well, that's a different story. Dead focused and dead set on the track here. Moving their way on the outside line. Look at Chris Wally looking to build speed up top side, going straight for the kill switch immediately. David E. Brown there up there with him. Both drivers trying to make a move up, trying to make a run for it. Did not get to work. The 12 will move in. Ryan Reich now even staying in. Drivers in the back that were giving their lap back are trying to catch back up with the field here. Jesse King being one of them here. Unfortunately, though, for him, he is a couple laps down, pretty badly damaged up from that earlier wreck, so he's hoping and praying for a little bit of a lucky dog chance. As our laps wind down, that's where things get a little bit more intense. That's where things get a little bit hectic around these parts of town. Daytona Beach, Florida, obviously a beautiful facility, beautiful landscape here in this town. And really, this track is just kind of the monarch, if you will, the peak of all that encompasses all that is good in our landscape and our series. Riding down, though, through turns 1 and 2, everybody looking for openings and looking for chances when they can. But again, unless you're bumping someone out of the way, good luck trying to get anybody to give you a chance here. It's all about maneuvering, and it's all about trying to work together as a team, trying to make drivers work with you just a little bit, hoping for maybe a slight chance or an opening when you can get them. And you can see on the onboard camera here, Cody Harker, just how close and how tight they are to make sure the draft line does not lose the momentum. Those aerodynamics of these cars are probably not the best when you think about it, considering the other tracks out here, but the whole dilemma is even though they don't have a very strong package for the speeds, they do have one thing that is really good, which is on the short track side of things, they are very strong when it comes to dealing with some bumping and rubbing. And when do they get those 1.5 miles as well? The one thing I think I'm going to really keep an eye on is when they get damaged, you know, how bad does that slow them up comparatively to, say, a normal short track or anything like that. With Daytona and Talladega, obviously a damage is going to ruin everything because they have to have that speed and the aerodynamics. But with those 1.5 miles, the mile-long tracks, that could be a different story. We've seen here before where when they start to kind of tangle with each other, get a little bit rubbed off on one another, they actually don't lose too much speed necessarily. They actually, in a way, kind of tighten up slightly, but they still keep their momentum in pretty good harmony, if you will. And I think that's one thing these guys are going to have to keep an eye on past these races. Of course, these 2 races here for the shootout, and then, of course, the big Daytona race next week will really be kind of the genesis, if you will, of what the season will be, in my opinion. Whoever can win that, I feel is going to have their best start here to this entire series, because really, these next-gen cars, again, they are the equalizer to everything that we know about racing. So while the field moves their way up front here, still guys in the back trying to catch the draft, trying to catch any kind of speed they can. You can see the distances, though, between each other. That's a lot of coverage. the ground to cover up on ground level. I almost like to call that no man's land, where you just kind of find yourself in a bit of a pickle. You can't get the runoff, can't get the speed. It just doesn't work down there. Yeah, they were Joshua Funkhauser right now trying to stay in play as well with the 82 of Carson Conway. Good to see new drivers on board here as well. Carson, I believe, making his television debut here. Joshua Funkhauser, we know this guy all too well. He's been around these parts quite a few times. Troy Radford, we do know him. We've seen him here on the show before. Him and Ray Radford, good to see them back on the track and back with us. I talked earlier about Doug Wysocki and Dakota Clark here. Both guys, obviously, kind of in the lesser-known boats when it comes to being up the top half, but that does not mean that they can't find some speed and find some runoff here. And again, with this season coming up, I'm interested to know if they can really maybe stay with these guys and really play out to their advantage. It's going to take a lot, though, if you're going to knock down the biggest and baddest of them all, that being Aaron Smith and that number 1. He is the number 1 seed entering into this season. With that championship he holds right now currently, he is going to be one bad hombre. 16 laps remain here as we bring our Chevrolet Camaro down across the track here. Yeah, trust us, folks. Yes, we know there are all Chevrolets down there. I believe they're trying out something a little bit different this year and just going strictly Chevrolets for the entire seat duration. So it's pretty much you only get one series. You get to work with one car to work with. In my opinion, that can make for a little bit more of a fun track zone as we got problems down there. Dakota Clark in 38 and the 23, excuse me, involved in the wreck. Got the number on him as the 38, but he's driving the 23, so that's the custom number plates, obviously. Kind of messing up that horror deal, but let's think of what could happen here. Something gone wrong coming off of turn 1 here. Take a look at it here. Looks like Chris Wally getting tagged there from the 34 Wysocki, and oh man, you can see the safety equipment being put to good use and being put to good work. They were able to refire him and get him back out moving, so you know the driver is okay, but that does not feel any better than it does with anything else around here, I can tell you that much. Watch Chris Wally again. He holds his line on the bottom, slightly drifted up, right back down. Wysocki, though, unfortunately, kind of, again, that steering issue, that dilemma that I was talking about earlier, it's going to be a factor to all these drivers. They're going to have to learn how to control it and really maintain the pace of it, because that steering is an equalizer at the same time. It's a bit of a headache to try to work around. It really hurts more than it really helps in certain regards, and in my opinion right now, it's definitely going to be a struggle to figure out come later on in this racing event. And that was your PTM Instant Replay, brought to you in part by our good friends over at Spartan Logistic Management LLC. And not really sure why our timing meter is not working up to stuff here. It was working a minute ago. Hold on, folks. Let's try to see if maybe we can fix that up. Yeah, we usually don't have this much kind of troubles here with these timers here, but apparently our end's kind of messing up here tonight. So while we're going to go ahead and figure those out here, we're going to cut to a quick commercial break. But when we come back, more action to be had here as we come to the conclusion of the shootout at Daytona. Tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen, is presented in part by our good friends over at Spartan Logistics Management LLC. By R&R Racewear. Be sure to check the link down in the description to check out the latest product line from our friends at R&R. By Loud Pedal TV, smashing the loud pedal for your viewing entertainment. By SimSpeedShop.com. And by Track Time Entertainment. A big thank you in large part to those guys for helping us out this season. And a thank you to everybody, of course, for tuning on in here tonight. Well, there we go. All right, we got that working, but do we have the other one working? There it goes. Producers, who keeps messing with my stuff around here? The glitch graphic gremlins keep annoying us here. If I have to, I'll get the baseball bat back out and we can go after him here. I know how to take him down. We'll keep it with the Tower of Doom here in this case here, considering our circumstances. But right now, fourth caution of the night, third of the non-scheduled cautions. One of them was a scheduled caution, of course, earlier on. So field double filing back in. It is time to get things ready to go, ready to fire them off once again. A lot of heavy hitters still left in this one. Brian McCann, I don't know if there's any way to knock him down off his top spot right now. He's been pretty much locked and loaded this entire time. Right where he's been at, he's been happy. I think he's been pretty happy about where he's been and where he's doing. I don't think he's the least bit worried about finishing this one out. I think his main focus is going to be just how well on these last laps can he hold off the charge here from these guys, because again, these drivers are looking to take this one away from him. And with only about 12 laps to go, there's no telling anyone who's going to be able to win this one out. Line them off around turn number 4. The pace car this time by is going to get off the track and give these guys the benefit of the doubt and let them race it in. Who is going to win the first race of the new season? The season will start next week, but for now, it's time to win. Somebody's winning a cool $50. Who's going to be? We're going to see now. Green flag back on out. We're back underway. Yellow flag is out though. Problem down there. Troubles. No, right? I think the flagman was not impressed with that start there, so they're telling everybody, hold on, we're going to try that again. Looked like everybody was ready to go. I'm not really sure why the flagman decided to call the caution there, but again, we cannot decipher and judge everything there. So everyone tries to catch back up with the field, get everyone situated back out. It's kind of interesting to see how this one's going to restructure, recenter off here. Because again, you got guys that are kind of watching the laps or watching the counter, and they're seeing how many laps they got left. We've seen earlier where they get aggressive. They got to be very careful about where they end up putting the cars at, because again, they will get into a bit of a bad spot here or there, and that seems to have been the case. But I don't know, it's going to be hard to say really where we go from there. So field right now looking to get restructured, reorganized, and set back in position. Looks like Vincent Short is going to end up being your new leader here. I believe when the caution was thrown, he ended up taking the race lead over. So Ryan McCann now finds himself in the ever-elusive spot of having to find a way around on the outside. That's easier said than done here with this kind of track. I don't know, if I'm one of the guys down there, my first thought is don't put me on the outside with these next gen cup cars at Daytona. I'd be wanting to stay on the bottom and make my work there. They will have 8 remaining on the restart. But which one of them will be able to finish this race in its entirety with the W in mind? Race fans in the comment section and down below, if you're watching this live or you're watching this later, comment below. Who do you think's gonna win this? Who do you have as your choice? Somebody will win a cool 50 bucks. Somebody is going to end up finding themselves on the receiving end of old Daytona's usual shenanigans. I don't know who, I don't know where, but we're going to see something crazy happen here on this restart, I feel. We had 24 drivers come in here tonight. We are down to the final 20 on the track. 18 of them on the lead lap. Everybody looking to manage and finish this one up completely. This is anybody's ball game, anybody's guess who wins it out. With 8 to go on that restart, we're going to see a lot of craziness happening in between, a lot of hard racing to come forth. Ryan, I'm off down across the front straightaway to the green flag we go, and here it is. We're ready for the restart. McCann goes straight for the bottom. He doesn't want to try and test it on the outside. He went right for it. Looking to try to outmatch Vincent Short there and try to make him move off the corners here. Looking on the bottom lane here, though. Kyle Bengrave, man, he is muscling the charge. There's trouble. They're coming off of turn 3. Or turn 2, I should say. David Brown getting into it there. Looks like that is Brian Reich as well getting into it. And another caution thrown. And now we're leading into a green-white checkered opportunity coming up. Let's take a look at the PTM instant replay here and see about this one. I couldn't tell you for sure how that one transpired or what happened exactly there, other than we just know we saw that 12 machine get a little bit centered off and into a bit of a bad place here. And right there you can see a little bit of a blink there from Jared Widener, but that was not what started that whole mess. 7 tagging the 12 there, and with that kind of speed and that kind of corner spot, you just cannot hit that area. Tough break there for both drivers, but unfortunately there was not a whole lot they could do with what they're given. We're going to go on board here with that number 7 though. We're going to take a close look at the inside of the car here. We're going to see just how close they got to one another. Here's the move coming off, and right there again, it's that easy. And again, these are next gen cars, so they may be still testing to remember how close the front bumper gets or how far off they are, but right, giving them a little bit of a love tap there, saying, hey bud, I'll remember that for next time. So as our field gets ready to stretch back on out and put up another fight here, we're pretty much going to be on the green-white checker territory here, so expect 2 to go on the next time by. A lot of folks in our comment section saying Brian Rose for the win, Vincent Short for the win, HBR for the win. A lot of love down here. Yeah, it just gets a little more eager. You kind of get a little more intense in here. Kind of a little bit of a chill in the air. I know we're in the winter months here, coming up closer to past our fall days, but man, I just get kind of a chill right now. Just kind of watching this go on, because right now this track is starting to really take full shape and take full advantage of anybody that's even trying to figure out how to work our way off around these places here. Double filing up once again, so looks like we'll have 4 to remain. They've got to be careful though, those green-white checkers, if they come up, they will really test some of these drivers' moves and patience here. And with these last bit of laps here left to go, anybody's guess who's going to really be able to make the move here. Well, you fans at home have picked your choice and picked your drivers, so now we'll see who's going to walk away with this one. Coming down the end, down the runs here. This is going to be a finish that I think these guys are probably going to remember coming next week, because again, they've raced hard here for the 50 laps, but next week will be a few more laps added on. Will that be the difference maker, or will that be the testament of patience and willpower? Only one way to find out for sure. Looking for those lights to turn green. There it is. Turn them green. Let them loose. Let's see where this one plays into the boost. Initiate the boost and get them going down on the stretch. Here we go. Hamilton already going down low, trying to get it stuck there, but the 54 didn't quite see it that way. He's going to get caught in a bad spot. 3 wide. Wrapped it right in turn 2. Well, now we're definitely in green-white checker territory, but unfortunately for Bobby Hamilton Jr., he gets caught up in the big one here, coming around the track here in the 54. Cody Quick, I think, just got stuck on the track here. I think Hamilton just did too, unfortunately. It's kind of a bad spot to get put in. Oh, he's got it down off there. He's going to get it going. Cook's not going to be so lucky, but let's take a look at the PTM Racing replay. That might not have been the start a lot of these guys were looking for out of the gate, and they may have found themselves in a bad place there right out of the shot here. We'll take a look at it. So Bobby was going down low trying to get into the bottom lane, but Cook was defending, and unfortunately for both drivers, they weren't seeing eye to eye on letting each other get down there, and that ended up costing both of them a lot of ground and time here. We'll take a look at this one again. This is your onboard camera here with Cook Quick. And you can see right here, Hamilton, when he went down, he got nudged up by the 54. And then again, that steering dilemma, that steering ratio, once you start getting moved around a little bit, it's hard to keep it cornered. And once again, it just did a number on them. It causes a big one here. So a tough break there for Cook Quick. Trying to defend his line off, trying to defend all those that oppose, but it was not to be. And Holler Boys, I would probably want to turn the other head here a minute because Brian Rose got badly damaged there on the front end and the back end of that 89 machine. Vincent Shore is the only one left of the Holler Boys that may have a chance to win this one here with what he can carry on the speeds. Draft line, it's going to be a lot harder for that 89 of Brian Rose. That is for sure. What a tough break there, a dilemma, unfortunately, for both guys involved here. That is not really what anyone wants to see, and that's definitely not what anyone wants to have to go through here on this track. So a green-white checkered opportunity will now present itself. Fresh repair there on the number 16 machine. He'll get that fixed up and back out on the track. But again, now he's going to find himself in a bit of a rough spot here, trying to make a move off or two. But for some guys like Chris Wally and them and Quick, they actually now get put in a much more proverbial spot here. That could be the difference maker. So now, really, it's just going to be a matter of getting a good restart and hoping that draft line saves your run. Pace lights are off on the pace car. This next time by, we let them loose once again. Somebody is walking away with the W and $50 here tonight. So as they bring them around the track once again, race fans, to this time, throw the green, get them one more up around, throw the white. Next time by, checkered flags are coming. Here they come now down across this long, get it front straightaway onto the restart zone. Somebody walks away with the W here. Who's going to be, though? On the restart, everyone trying to get in the rhythm, trying to find a line. They're going to choose either go outside or go to the bottom. Most will choose the bottom. If they can get one whole lap in, they will get to the white flag, and that will settle them up for their checkered. Off of corner 2. Down that back straightaway, still looking good. Everyone trying to find an opening, find a shot or two if they can, find any help they can get off the run here. Look at this on the back straightaway to 3. Is Neil Quick and Chris Wally opting to go to the outside, pushing each other, hoping for some help, hoping for a little bit of work from the other teams. But slow drivers right now are going to be a bit of a factor here with the damage that is done up on their cars. White flag is out now for the number 3 and the 15. Which one's it going to be, though? Can Vincent Short hold out the field? He's done it before. Will he do it again? He's trying to get a run off here, coming down. Here comes the speed built up. They draft off. They're looking for the run coming off of turn 2. Kyle Pengraf looking to march his way ahead, trying to make it work here. Aaron Smith, the former champion, literally trying to make everything move into play, move into position. The reigning champion trying to make a statement this season. He looks to do it again here. Chris Wally up top, 3 wide loop. Pengraf trying to get ahead of him. Wally and Smith connect. They wreck. Wrecking out of turn 4. They come to the line. It's going to be a photo finish to the finish line. And Jesse King will end up walking away with the W somehow, some way. That 25 minutes is to get ahead of them all, with David Brown pushing him to victory lane. What a finish. Wow. Now, I got one thing to ask, though. Where the heck did Jesse King come out from? He was really like in no man's land earlier, and all of a sudden he snuck by there with David E. Brown to the finish. I didn't even see him coming across there. He managed to pull 3 wide slow and pull a rabbit over their hats and winning this one out. My goodness, folks. We'll take a look at that finish again here in just a minute, but folks, Jesse King now bringing it across the front straightaway, gets a little love tap from Vincent. He's like, hey man, you got me this time, but I won't forget that next week. Got to park it up there. Brian McCann there hanging around as well. What a finish and what a run it was for these drivers. Let's take a look at our results presented by Spartan Logistics Management LLC. Jesse King wins this one. Second going to David Brown. Third to Brian McCann. Fourth to Vincent Short. Fifth to Cody Harger. Sixth to Mike Harper. Seventh to Neil Quick. 8th to Brian Rose, 9th to Troy Radford, 10th to Bobby Hamill Jr. round in Air Field and his television debut here in PTM Racing TV. What a showing from him as well as the crew here. Everybody around here, man, they did a great job doing what they had to and doing what they can to try to, work with the challenges and work with the ever so lasting advantages that this track can bring to the table. And once again, just shows to show you that these guys know how to put on a show and put on a fight down there. We'll talk with our top 3 here in just a moment. As I head down there to the pits and to victory lane. I will see you there in just a moment, folks. Give me 1 minute. Alright, thank you again for waiting there, folks. Here right now, currently just getting ready to talk with some of our drivers here. Brian McCann will be your 3rd place finisher here tonight. Not with us in the talk zone here tonight, so we'll give him the old overlay here, give him a little love and a little shout out. Congratulations to him on his 3rd place finish. David E. Brown coming away 2nd place here tonight. A strong showing from him. Definitely put on a great run and a good ending here, but just fell a little bit short to a eventual winner and our race winner here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your winner here out of it all in the 25 this season, Jesse King. And Jesse, boy oh boy, did you have a finish coming to the line here, sir. You literally marched in a strong finish and a big victory here at Daytona.
Whew, man, what a race it was, let me tell you. Nerve-wracking. Not in the position I wanted to be originally. Had to do it from coming from the back, but somehow we found a way.
I was about to say, you found a way, and right now as we look at this PTM Instant Replay, my friend, you literally had to do a lot of work here and get a little bit of help. Did the push from David Brown kind of help get you closer up to that win?
Yeah, I think so, man. In these cars here, once you pull out, if you have no help from behind, I mean, it's just like hitting a brick wall. You just pretty well stop. And once I seen Vince pull up and then Brian trying to go with him, I just kept to the bottom and hoped I had help behind me, and he was there. Definitely appreciate it, for sure.
He certainly did give you a bit of a hand, a little bit more help than I think anybody could have asked for. But nevertheless, here, Jesse, you are walking away with the W and the victory here tonight on PTM Racing TV. And, well, why not? A cool $50 to go with it. Who do you want to thank here for this one tonight, sir?
Oh man, you guys up in the booth, man, you do an awesome job. Everybody over at the iRoc series that puts these things on, man, it's been fun the past 3 years I've been a part of it, and looking forward to the rest of this season after next week.
Well, I appreciate coming on board here tonight, Jesse. A big victory for you and your team. We certainly will see you next week with the season opener.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
You too. Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner here tonight. Give it up for Jesse King. All right, race fans, that's going to all but do it for your showcase here tonight of the Spartan Logistic Management LLC iRacing IROC series. Their season debut comes next week, but this little shootout was just for a good showing, presented in part by our good friends over at Spartan Logistics Management LLC, by R&R Racewear. Again, guys, be sure to check out that link in the description to see their latest line of products, their newest merchandise they have on store shelves. By Loud Pedal TV, smashing the loud pedal for your viewing entertainment. By SimSpeedShop.com, and by Track Time Entertainment. From all of us, from all the iRoc Series Challenge drivers, as well as us here at PTM Racing TV, we thank you and support. And for all of you at home that tuned in to the very end, we cannot thank you enough for coming on board. We certainly hope you've enjoyed the show and then some. When the green flag flies next time on PTM Racing TV, we will see you then. But for now, please be safe. God bless. Take care. Be good out there. I will see you very, very soon.